I'm just reviewing your memories from kindergarten or the favorite subjects you did have. And I think I concur with some of them. Recess and breaks and art is one of my favorites too. So, um, I know there's like a kindergarten theme this week because my daughter just started in person. Um, and then I just had to pick her up right now. So, just FYI, I am literally picking her up right before class. So, if I'm late, just hang in there. But today, I think I got back in time. Let's see. So, kindergarten. Anyone want to share a wonderful memory about their favorite subject? Anyone? I think kindergarten was one of those pivotal moments in your lives. First time you were in school or some structured education. Anyone want to share? Let me share one of mine then. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I thought about kindergarten. I'm just living vicariously through my daughter. I remember vaguely like dressing up for Halloween, and back in the day, the costumes weren't like as pretty cool as these days. I had the plastic ones with plastic masks. Um, what else do I remember? I just remember playing a lot outside. I guess is the main thing. And I do love art, so I remember playing with. I like coloring books. I like drawing too. So playing with crayons and markers was my favorite pastime during school. Um, Anyone want to share? Doesn't have to be kindergarten. I guess you could think about something more closer, more recent that you remember. First grade, second grade. No one. It's okay. Don't have an example. And then transitioning to our current event. I know this is a very important moment in history in terms of the conviction of Derek Chauvin and being convicted for the murder of George Floyd. So I think we've talked about George Floyd a few times in this class, and I think um, my initial reactions before the conviction was kind of mixed. There was a part of me that was doubtful for any sense of justice because of just knowing the pattern and trends of how cops are treated in these cases. They usually are um, not held accountable. And I think with the video footage, it's hard to not see that 9 minutes under someone's knee obviously was excessive force. Do folks have any comments or thoughts about this? Have people been seeing it or following the news?
So, I like to look at like both sides of things. Like sometimes I like go on Twitter. It can be really heart-wrenching though. Like sometimes I go on Twitter and I look at like um I guess what like quote unquote like the other side is saying.
Mhm.
Um and just people trying to justify it saying like making excuses, that he was doing some sort of illegal activity or whatever, like etc. It's just um I don't know. And I think personally, um like it doesn't give me any peace of mind personally just because he's one of many cops that are guilty of this, that like there's so many people that haven't gotten justice. Like I'm glad that George Floyd has, but for example, Breonna Taylor and just so many others, and it's just I don't even think it's scratching the surface. So yeah.
Thank you, Veronica. I share similar sentiments in terms of like it's a victory in a sense, but then bigger picture, how many other victims have there been and will be continuing? Because it obviously is not going to change the system itself overnight, and who knows, it might get worse or better. We don't know, and I think this particular case will kind of open people's minds to look at reform, police reform, and what that means. Other thoughts from folks?
Yeah, so I was scrolling through Twitter when this happened. I remember there's this guy, I think his name is Christian Walker. I don't know if you guys heard about him, but he's always so um vocal. Let's just say that. He was very vocal about his opinion. And like I just don't understand it because it's kind of like he's also a minority, but I don't know, it's just very confusing to me. Saying that um, that kind of injustice it threatens like America because I have no clue.
Mhm.
And I was kind of very confused about it. Not gonna lie, I still am. Um, yeah, I don't know how that threatens America. I just don't understand it.
Mhm. Thank you, Rexel. And I think Emily put something in the chat. Um, Speaking on like what was presented in terms of the trial, looking at both sides, and obviously, um, you can see a trend of like whenever a cop does something like this, there's always like a they always look at the person, uh, the brown or black person, their history, their background, um, in terms of the justification of why their death or their murder was acceptable. And I think we live in supposedly a society of laws and due process, and that cops shouldn't be the judge, trial, and executioner. And I think this is, um, although their job is difficult, they, in this particular case, we could see that he didn't need to kneel on his neck for that long. Um, and yeah, it's funny how the news kind of on both, or at least on the conservative side. So I think Veronica brought that up. How they frame it. I watched Fox News right after too, and I was like, let's see what they'll say. And it's kind of a weird, mixed, contradictory kind of statement. Like, I agree with conviction, but um, if we didn't convict him, then the media mob would have rioted, looted everything. So the jurors were influenced by this to change to have this conviction decision, completely dismissing like the evidence presented, completely dismissing the actual murder of it. So that's where they're standing on it. Um, and it was racially motivated. Are we talking about about Chauvin? Yes, that's a common thing that's been said on the right or conservative side. So um, if we look at those who are targeted, obviously brown and black bodies often are targeted. Um, and does race play into the factor? Yes, in some way. In this trial, it was pretty clear that the use of excessive force, which was the argument, was focused on. If we look back into Chauvin's background, and if we, like we did with, or like people did with George Floyd, maybe we might understand the motivations of why he would have done something like this. So that's a different trial, I guess you could say. Other thoughts from folks? If not, I just wanted to give space for this because it is a very important thing. And we are talking about social movements in this class. But yes, it's a victory, but there are still steps to kind of address the systematic issues that are happening as a result of police excessive force. So cool. I'm done. Talk to folks on one-on-one if they want to continue this. But would also respect people's time and try to figure out what do what we got to do today in terms of this class. So what are we doing today? Little housekeeping. I know we started the True Colors activity. I kind of want to debrief about that. And then after that, we'll do the career planning assignment. And I'll kind of explain what that is and what we're going to do. And that's pretty much it for today with the little announcements and reminders at the end. So how do folks feel about that? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. All righty. Let's see. So, oh, that's. You want to say hi to my daughter? She's hungry. She just got home from kindergarten. You want to say hi to my students? She's crashing my class again. I feel like she crashes a lot. What should I do? Feed my daughter?
Hi.
Oh, they're saying hi, Nara. Go say hi. Not sure who that was. I think it's Veronica. I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, I told you I started class. And you know where your snacks are in the pantry. So figure that out on your own. You're a big girl now. So class business. Okay, so if we got about a month left, I think the most important thing people are focusing on is the ethical historiography project. And in the chat, I want to get a sense how people are feeling about it right now. How you doing in there? How's it like working with folks in your group? Any challenges? Feeling good? Going well? Okay. Many of you picked groups that you, I think, were comfortable with already. Were able to kind of build a relationship with certain students. So I'm hoping that will give you a good foundation in terms of trying to get this project done. I know group projects are hard sometimes depending on who's in the group. I know there might be challenges and issues. So I just wanted to check in with folks on that. And to bring some clarity and direction for this, I think this is a group project. I will evaluate folks in the sense of you're going to grade yourself and you're going to grade your peers. And if you were, and what I mean by that is basically in the evaluation after the project, you're going to say, these are the particular things I did for the project. So you're going to name like, oh, I did this, this, and this. And then you also could say that to give you fair credit for your contribution to the project. And on the other side is also kind of giving props to those in your group, that to those members who are like, who stepped up, those who are like, cool, they were able to contribute on this part of the project. For example, they came in with a lot of sources. Then that's what you mentioned. Also, on the other side of that coin is some group members might not pull their weight, and you have you could explain that in your in the evaluation itself. So if you feel like someone didn't necessarily contribute or didn't communicate as well as others, that's also a way for me to get feedback from the groups. So just to hold people accountable, where folks feel comfortable that it was a group project rather than a one or two people pulling the weight. So, but I'm hopefully that doesn't play out for some groups. How do folks feel about that? in the chat, in the Zoom, verbally. Good. So just keep in mind at the end of the semester, I'll have a reflection evaluation about the process in which your group went to kind of turn in this project. So that's the class business. It seems like everyone's okay with their group for now. If there are challenges, let me know. I could maybe help facilitate, coordinate things. And that's it. So that's the project. This week, we are focusing on our career plan and future planning. So last Tuesday, we discussed the True Colors activity and also the road mapping. So if you forgot already, just a quick reminder, we kind of discuss like particular professions that people might take on or are already taking on. And what does it mean to get to particular goals, or what does it mean to like fulfill a nursing degree? What are the steps before you get that, and what happens after you get the degree? So those are the conversations you had last Tuesday, and then it was followed up with a kind of like a personality test, which was the True Colors activity. Do folks remember that? Do people have their numbers with them? What do I mean by the numbers? Yes, thank you. So I hope you all were able to add your personality and figure out which color you represented. Where are my fellow oranges? So you can count the different colors that were there. I believe there's gold, green, blue, orange. I will put the PDF again on to the chat if you didn't see it earlier. It was posted a while ago. I don't have a color. How do you not have a color? Blue. Maybe Amaryllis, you have to figure out the numbers. So if I asked you to look at a bunch of words, they were in different columns, and you were supposed to rate which one was most that you associate yourself with. And then from 4 to 1, 4 being the one that kind of represents who you are, and 1 being like, that's not me. So at the end of that activity, you added up all your numbers, and then basically in the PDF, it shows you like, I represent this color. Maybe I should project that too. And in that color, it kind of gives you certain traits of your personality. And for the next, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so, kind of wanted folks to kind of share with your group members, like, this was cool. I like this activity, kind of reflects who I am as a person, or this test is BS. And I think this does not represent who I am. So I'm going to break you up into groups to kind of, I don't know, talk about that activity, kind of share your results. Questions? Okay, so there are 30 of you. I'm going to have, so Rick, for those who haven't finished the adding up part of this activity, you could do that in the breakout room while others talk, and hopefully when it's your turn, you're able to kind of respond also. So it is 2:26, so I think I said 5 minutes to share. So a little after 2:30, I'll have you all come back. Cool. All right. Michelle, I'm not sure where you're at. You should be going to your group. Hello, hello. Just wait for a few more people. People still sharing, it looks like it. Alrighty. So these are the colors that were on the activity book. And I guess for those who are gold, do you feel like you fit in this column of being of service, accuracy and thought thoroughness, appreciation of service, procedural results, concerns, and responsibility? Who's gold in this class? Looks like Carla is gold and agrees. Any other gold folks in here? Thought I saw some gold. I think I'm orange. Okay. For the orange folks, I think that's all out of those. Do you agree or disagree with orange? Yes, no, maybe so. Strongly agree. Interesting. Okay. So I think this is a good activity in terms of just reflecting upon who you are as a person, one, and kind of like how then does this kind of guide your career path? And I think obviously there's certain professions that are in line with maybe certain characteristics. And I think in the next portion of this class, you're going to kind of work through Handshake, trying to figure out what jobs are out there that kind of or should fit in like your type of skill set. So I'm going to share the worksheet that you're supposed to be doing today on the career plan. Do folks have it? It's in the Zoom chat. And if you, it's also on iLearn for in-class activities. Do folks have it? Got it? And let's see, thumbs up if you got it or not. So the only thing that we're actually submitting is a reflection, right? Got it. Okay, so you're gonna go through the worksheet. Let me project that maybe. That will be helpful. And I'll walk you through it for training. So how do I need to open up the doc for you to also see it. Give me a second. I got multiple things that will open on my thing. Okay. So let's walk through it together. You've opened booted up. This is the document, correct, that folks have. So for the career plan assignment, being in college provides you with the opportunity to build a community that can support you in your future personal and professional goals. Now that you are in your final semester of Metro and preparing to be an upper division student, we want you to know your plans. To utilize available resources from the university and begin setting future goals in this assignment, you will need to complete the following steps. So you have maybe a couple years left at state. I remember as an undergrad, I didn't even think about my job situation until I believe the last quarter or two, which was kind of stressful for sure. But I appreciate that Metro is kind of encouraging you to kind of already think in the big picture of what your passions are right now and how that will fulfill possible career opportunities in the after graduation. So can someone read the assignment instructions for me?
I'll read it. Activate your Handshake account and profile by following the steps. Go to sfuhandshake.com. Click on the blue button that says San Francisco State University, enter your credentials, SFState login, complete your profile. If you aren't able to log in using SSL, please email Cora Miller with your first and last name, student ID, and campus email address.
Thank you, Rexel. So before we left class on Tuesday, I asked you to create a Handshake account. Were folks able to do that? Did anyone have any challenges creating the account? Someone said it was pretty easy last time. If not, you should be creating one right now. And then for point number 2, who could read that for me? Looks like a couple of people are responding. Can someone read me point number 2?
I can read it.
Any?
Number 2, right?
Sure.
Take time to explore the opportunities on Handshake and identify some opportunities that exist on or off campus that relate to your major or career of interest. Handshake uses your profile data to curate content for you. The more Handshake knows about you, the better the platform can work for you. For example, use the jobs tab and filters to search by industry, job, function, major, etc. Use the employers button under the jobs tab to research specific employees or employers. Use the career center tab to make an appointment with a career counselor to complete a career test that explores your interests, strengths, and personality. Check out the career resource link on page 3 of this document.
Thank you, Denise. So today, you're gonna basically explore what Handshake is about. And if folks aren't too familiar with it, this is your chance to kind of figure out what it looks like. For those who've kind of gone through this process already, maybe you can help others in your group. So the latter part of this class, we're gonna break up into groups, and then you're just gonna explore possible jobs out there, and hopefully your peers, if there's any questions, you could kind of bring them up. And then for number 3, you're going to write a 1 to 2 page reflection on where you hope to go post Metro. So listed below are a few questions to include in your reflection, which are: 1, why do you choose the major you declared or are declaring? So there's a reason why you love biology or engineering or whatever field that you're in. Why do you feel like that suits you? And then what career path do you anticipate going towards? So obviously, if you're in an engineering major, what job is offered out there after you graduate in relation to your engineering field? Do you have any plans to go to graduate school? If so, where would you go and what would you study? So if folks are already trying to think about that, graduate school is another way to kind of, if you want to go through that academic route, another opportunity for you. If you could close your eyes and see yourself in 2 years, where would you be? What would you be doing? So in 2 years, what do you imagine yourself doing? what was a meaningful assignment to you? What skills do you think you have gained through Metro? Where at Metro do you gain the best understanding of social justice, and where else would you like the Metro faculty and staff to know about your time in Metro? So this is kind of like an assessment of Metro, kind of giving us feedback on how we supported you, or maybe there were some weaknesses on our part in terms of helping you through this process of determining a possible career. And you turn in a Word document or a PDF. So questions about that? I think this is pretty straightforward. So what do we do next? I'm gonna break you up into your groups. Do y'all want your same groups or new groups? I'll make it democratic. Do people like the people working with their folks? If not, I'll just send you off. Let's see. So hopefully you have the Word document. I would suggest opening that up and then writing the notes down while you're kind of sharing with your peers in navigating Handshake. I've never used it. I'm not sure how easy or hard it is to navigate this program or website. I should one of these days look over it. But yeah. Has anyone kind of gone through it already?
I have.
Yeah.
Handshake's pretty easy to navigate. All in all. It's just like you're searching, or I mean, you have to get used to it, but it's pretty easy.
So just familiarizing where things are at, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But then at the end, it's pretty what's it called? Common sensical.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that. So maybe if you're in these group, you could kind of share tips and advice in terms of navigation, especially if you're in the same fields of like careers. So it is 2:45. We have about half an hour or so. So take this time to work on this ed plan. So, or I'm sorry, worksheet. Cool. I'm having this struggle. Excel will need a little support. I'll send you to your group so folks could work on it, and then I could kind of jump into the breakout rooms for other support. Hello. So hopefully you had a lot of time to work on this. Any kind of reflections from folks about Handshake? Did you like it? Were you able to find some jobs out there, possibly?
I found some physical therapist job.
Cool.
Um,
So there's a good amount of them out there for you.
Well,
Kind of.
yes. I'm not sure, but it did say that remote workers allowed. So I guess
How
I
does
don't
that
know how.
work?
How does that work? I feel like it works in a way where it's kind of like a virtual workout
Yep.
session. Well, it would be harder to assess because you're not physically there, but you could monitor around people's webcam, I'm pretty sure.
Cool, cool. That's the age we live in, where we could work virtually in different ways now. Cool. Glad to hear there is a prospect in that case. So now you all just have to write that 1 to 2 page reflection on those particular questions. So I believe I have those due by next week. So and then there is an exit ticket form in the iLearn. It's basically a reflection of the roadmap activity and ways in which you thought was good or effective or not. So fill that out. Shouldn't take too long. And then after that, already told you that one about the career plan assignment. And then next week, there are presentations for your ethical historiography project. So for sure attend next week. Tuesday will most likely give time to kind of prep the presentations, and then Thursday, folks will be sharing what their chapter is about. So you've done you figured out and focused your topic, and then after that you were able to work on your library worksheet, and then now hopefully you're ready to kind of present on your findings. And then got a question in the chat. Wait, where's the link for exit? I got cut out. If you go to iLearn in this week's module, which is 12, you'll see it at the bottom, right next to the, what's the other assignment? Is that the only assignment? It's at the bottom in terms of homework. Other questions? If not, enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thank you. And I'll see you all on Tuesday.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, go.
So I was looking at the iLearning website,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just curious, like there was something supposed to be due today. I don't know what it was, but it was due on 2 p.m.
Okay, ignore that. I think it was the chapter. Obviously,
Oh,
y'all aren't ready. I kind of took that off.
oh, okay. I was sort of confused. I was like,
I didn't
yeah,
change the date on that. Sorry. This was kind of like pre-planned, but now reflecting y'all need more time. So
okay.
I'm assuming you're referring to that on the submission portals.
Yeah, the one next to it. Yeah.
It says the ethical historiography final chapter.
Yeah, the upcoming events.
Yeah. So I believe I changed it.
Okay.
Changed it, or change. Oh yeah, it's still
Uh,
the due date's still. Well, let me change it. But thank you for pointing that out. I'll change it right now. Other questions, Rixel? Are you good?
I think that's it. Thank you.
You okay? Good. Anyone else left? Who's left? No one. Brandy, you still there? Alrighty. Thank you.